authentically you. 'Cause now is your season to live out your reason. Just be you. How you gonna leave your imprint on this world? Be authentically you. 'Cause now is your season to live out your reason. Just be you. How you gonna leave your imprint on this world?
Well, hello, and welcome back to another segment of Authentically You Imprint. And here, just to set the tone, here at the Imprint Show, what we do is interview fantastic people like yourself who are out there in your neighborhood, on your block, in your schools, on your job, doing fantastic things. And mainstream media will probably never pick you up.
We're interviewing people who are doing something.
It's just doing wonderful things.
People who are doing wonderful things. Mostly we have been dealing with young people.
Absolutely.
Who are doing, they're much younger than us, but they're doing the thing. And listen, so we know what our goal is. Our goal is to pass the baton on.
Yes.
Listen, we're old, we getting illness and stuff, can't move the way we move. But these young people today are on fire. They're doing some things. I'm not really worried about what the future is going to look like. I'm worried about what's going on right now. How bad can we mess it up before we pass it off to these young people? But we got some young people that are doing great things.
Absolutely. And we have one such young man with us today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We are super excited. And the thing is, we just met this young man. We are super excited to bring to the table today Mr. Zachary Brown. Welcome.
Mr. Brown, how are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
We're great. Listen, welcome to Authentically You Imprint.
Yes.
Listen, man, it's a pleasure to have you. We want you to tell us something about yourself, just a little background. We just met this young man. I performed the wedding of his sister and good friend of ours, the young people who we counseled, everything. So proud of them and what they're doing. But to tell you how great it was, during these short couple of days that we were together, we all became family.
Exactly.
We have expanded our borders and have become family. So good that we start talking about what each other do and it's just a different atmosphere that I love because we were just anxious to reconnect and to get and sit and talk. And today, Mr. Zachary Brown is here. Yay. Listen, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you again for having me. As you mentioned before, I just enjoyed being in you all's presence. Like you said, it took only a matter of hours before I feel like you all were part of the family. So I definitely appreciate you all speaking with me, performing the ceremonies, but also extending the invite for this platform. So it's great to be here, and I just want to say thank you again. But yeah, I'm originally from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Fayetteville in the place, very small military town. After I graduated high school, I traveled down to Atlanta, Georgia, where I went to school, graduated from Morehouse College. Mm-hmm. So proud HBCU grad. And after I graduated, kind of just stayed in the Atlanta area. It's a great booming area, especially for young professionals trying to, continue to just push and grind. And after I graduated, I actually graduated with a business degree from Morehouse, but, I did a few internships and business was great, but it wasn't like it didn't bring me that fulfillment. I remember going to my internship, and the last 2 weeks of it, I just, sat and said, I can't do this, guy.
Not it.
I still get excited about, being a CPA or hearing the CPA for accountants and things like that, but that wasn't the path for me. And so that's when I started, thinking about what am I going to do, and education was that calling. So I've been an educator since 2012, teaching middle school mathematics. And that's been a journey in itself, a lot of, rough times, but also a lot of good times as well. And I really enjoyed my time there and growing as an individual, as a teacher, as a person, and learning, just as much from the young students as much as I teach them.
Exactly.
And then about 4 years ago now, I went ahead and started my small business, the Almond Brown Collection. So I've been working on that for like really intentionally since 2019. That's when I got my LLC and all those, documents and bank accounts and things like that. And been balancing out since then, trying to, be an adult and do all the things, be balanced, try and be fit, healthy, all those things. So that's like kind of me in the journey so far.
A little snapshot.
Wow. That's a little snapshot. Listen. We get ready to get into it and break down all of what he just said. But before we do that, you know how we do. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to be right back.
What is it that inspires passion? That thing that keeps us from thinking that we know it all, but instead makes us say, I have to know more. What is it that makes us keep trying after we've fallen time and time again? It's the thing that makes us smile after we finally figured it out. When what used to be difficult is now second nature. It's the joy of knowing our hard work was not in vain, but instead has made us better as people. It's the beauty of learning.
Listen, here we are. We are back again with Zachary Brown. Listen, he skated over so quickly. So
many things.
Y'all got to go back and check this out. He graduated Morehouse. Y'all, come on, Morehouse. Do y'all understand? That's where Dr. Martin Luther King went. Morehouse in Atlanta. That's where Warnock, who is running for Senate again. Listen, if you're in Atlanta looking at this, make it a point to vote. It's important that you do that. They're trying to shut down our voices. They're trying to shut down the progress. And guess what? If you allow them and sit back and do nothing, they will do it.
They'll win.
But guess what? You got the power to change it. Get up, get yourself ready, do what you have to do. My girl Stacey
Abrams.
Abrams
is down there running. Listen, history is being made, and you want to be a part of that history. So he came out of Morehouse. But yeah, it is great. So we connected when we found out we was all from the same home and everything. And everything that he's doing. Yes, he graduated Morehouse. That's no small feat.
Yeah.
The papers alone is enough to say that he's doing what he needs to do to get where he needs to go. But then that's not all he said. What he said was he went into business where they make all the money. Coming from Morehouse, you go to the big companies and stuff, just based on the fact that you went to Morehouse. You got connections, and it's open. But it's amazing. We're sitting here talking to a young man who made a decision that money ain't everything.
Yeah.
And so he chased his passion. And I got to tell y'all that I'm still surprised that we are still here talking in 2022 about a young man who's excited still about education. Based upon what we just went through. Come on, y'all can't just skip over it and act like the pandemic and everything that we went through was nothing. And that teachers are not, it came to light how educators are not getting paid what they should get paid. If we understand that it takes a passion and it takes a God-given passion to stay there right now, because listen, ain't nobody want to do it. Ain't nobody trying to die. But
Exactly.
It's pretty rough.
Talk about that, how you were able to step away from potential, big bucks.
Yeah.
To come and impact and shape the lives of young people.
Definitely. So I similar to what you were saying, sir, I interned with Ernst & Young, which sits on right off of the interstate. One of the big four accounting firms.
We know the name.
Yeah. So they would come over to Morehouse pretty regularly to try and recruit. And so going into my senior year, I was able to get an internship and took full advantage of it. It was like a rotational one. So I got to see different, compartments of the business and try to figure out where did I, want to stay in, or like what line of service that I want to do. And each one had its, little pieces to it. But at the same time, because I was an intern, I wasn't really doing much but like the basics. I didn't really get a full outlook on what it was going to be. But I did start to feel like the lifestyle or the company culture or this, that, and the third. And it was okay. It was enough to, like, of course, pay the bills and things like that. But like I said, by the time I got to the end of it, no section of the job like really spoke to me. It said like, well, if I do this, how could I jazz it up and make it creative?
Right.
If I do this, how can I make it, And at this point, I did art, but it was not like a full-blown, like, thought of myself as an artist, but I like to be creative.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, I don't know. It was funny because I saw this, pretty rudimental job, and I was trying to figure out the ways that I can make it creative or how I can, give some spice and color to it. But at the end of the day, it was just like, if you don't show up to this job, they're gonna find somebody else that can do the job, and it's like you can't bring your personality into it. Because at the end of the day, it's just numbers.
Right.
And so sitting with that for a little while, I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Listen. Sometimes we make decisions in life, and it's not based upon what looks more lucrative.
Mm-hmm.
Not looks. We know it's more lucrative.
You know it's more. Yeah.
Corporate world versus education.
Passion.
It is a shame because you can do entry-level corporate world and make more than an educator.
And educators are worth far more.
Yeah, after being there for years.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a passion, and I'm hoping that the country, after we've been through what we've been through,
yes,
has come to realize what's important.
What's important.
Really,
Follow your
really,
passions,
what's
follow your
important. Our first responders, our educators, who are educating our children, who have always stood on the front line through the whole thing.
Yeah, and so we sort of interrupted your telling us about your journey from corporate America into education. We'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, no, like I said, towards the end, I just realized that it was not going to be a spot for me, and if I was to do it, it would be for a very short term. So it was funny. The last 2 weeks of the internship, I immediately started looking for public service type things. And it wasn't until I thought about it for a while, my first semester of senior year, when I said, okay, I'm a unofficial mentor on campus to underclassmen and whatnot. And then I also was a tutor on campus for accounting. And so I enjoyed doing both of those things. And then you put tutoring together with mentorship and you got education.
Like education.
And so I interviewed with maybe 3 or so organizations that fall. And then during those interviews, you had to interact with the students. You weren't necessarily teaching anything, but you got a chance to talk to the students and just build a quick relationship. And in those moments when I was doing those interviews, I knew at that moment that I had, chosen the right, space and wanted to continue pursuing a career in education. I'm not sure if it was going to be for long term or short term,
right?
But I knew the next step was going to be in education.
10 years later, you're still there and looking forward to your next assignment.
Yeah, and
still here. That's the amazing part.
It's in mathematics, which is amazing in itself.
Exactly.
Extended mathematics for me, they say how much is 2 plus 2? I say it depends on where the plus sign is sitting, because if it's standing up, then it's 4. If it's crossed to the side, who knows?
He's not the mathematician, in other words, right?
Right. Yeah. And all that stuff. So, you know, when they got, especially when I got to school and they got to algebra, started talking about pi, I headed towards the cafeteria.
You're looking for a slice.
Right. So I missed all that. But yeah, in all seriousness, you know, we talk education. If you don't know, you got to know now. It's important because your children needs to be educated.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And with the need for your children to be educated, I don't know if it hit your door yet, and it might be next year. You're going to understand how important it is to have the teachers in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because a lot of teachers are still over the summer break and everything are still considering getting out. And some going back to the corporate world because they have lost their passion.
Yeah.
And their loss of passion is not their fault. Mm-hmm. It's our fault as a society because we feel that it's not important to pay our teachers.
Yeah.
We don't feel our teachers need to live in the same neighborhood that we live in.
We're hoping that changes.
And everything. So we definitely hoping that all this just take a major change, and you get all the money that you deserve, everything that you would reap in the corporate world. Let's hope that happens in education. But just in case it don't, let's talk about the business a little bit.
Yeah, it was funny because I was filling out a grant actually for the business, and they asked about like the origin story. And that is part of the origin story. When I went through school, we took out private loans, and then, we had a government loan in which it was the Parent Plus loan, where the parent's name is essentially. So you maybe I'll be familiar with it. So my dad, you know, he took that bullet for me, and I love him and appreciate him for it.
Yeah.
And so I think it was going into my 3rd year. You know, he was like, "Hey, what we gonna do? Like, we need to do something. We need to get some, you know, more funds heading this way." So, and at the time I had moved and was living by myself. And so while my salary had increased in my educator salary, all the bills were coming through my salary. And so I really didn't have much at the end. So that wasn't helping out. And so I had to sit down. I was at the time like starting to do more artwork just because it was a way for, you know, cheap fun, you know, instead of going out doing this and the third, let's stay at home and start doodling.
Right.
And so I had said to myself, I said, man, I could really do some stuff with this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I started to see like, you know, some of the designs on a shirt or some of the designs just, you know, as pictures. And I say, you know, this could be a way where we could supplement the income a little bit.
Exactly.
And right there is when I started to, you know, think about it more and more and try and figure out, okay, how are we going to take advantage of this? So the Almond Brown collection pretty much came as a result of trying to, you know, supplement the teacher pay.
Right.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, it just started. That idea came in 2016. Actually, that was like March of 2016. And it's been crazy to see how far it's come over the years. We're talking about what's 2022. So 6 years later, and seeing the growth of it has been the best part of it, really.
That's beautiful.
So how do you go about displaying your work?
Yeah, so I started out mostly just doing local markets in the Atlanta area, and I still do. That's like my main source of you know, income or revenue for the business, and my main place where I can display my work and things like that. So that's my main way to push what I have. But also I've been trying to establish a social media presence, which, you know, has been, you know, it's been hit or miss sometimes because of just, you know, especially in today's, you know, like the rapid movement of it, you have to be consistent with that. And, you know, especially once it gets into like the actual school year, that consistency can drop off. You know, I'll be good for about 4 weeks, and then 3 weeks will be kind of silent, and then it's hard to jump back up into it. So that's part of the, you know, the obstacles and struggles right now, just trying to remain consistent. But I try my best to take advantage of these summertime, little bit these vacation days to get content together. So by the time the next school year hits, I don't have to focus so much, but just kind of like put stuff on autopilot. That's the goal.
Exactly.
Right. So even with you establishing your social media presence, is any of your work on any social media site?
Yeah, definitely. So Instagram is my main source of like displaying displaying my artwork and whatnot. And I can be found on Instagram at Almond Brown, ALMOND, the color brown, BROWN _26. So Almond Brown _26, and that's where you'll see a lot of my work. Trying to dip into these other platforms like TikTok and other things. I'll be honest with you. I appear very young, but I'm still trying to keep up with these people today.
Yeah, right.
So I'm still trying to get a following on TikTok. Again, Almond Brown 26 on TikTok. And I think on Facebook as well. So that's the other part too, is trying to sync them all, make sure I'm, plugging the right stuff in. But yeah.
Listen, everybody. Listen to you.
Go over to the sites.
Go over to the sites. You can see them there at the bottom of the screen. They'll be right there. You can go and listen. What I want to say is that we're viewed in like 176 countries around the world, and here in America. But and I don't say that for bragging rights, because we're still building.
Exactly.
And we're still building out there. But since we're there, I want to speak in somebody's ear who was wondering what to do with that $100,000 that you have and that you were looking for.
Absolutely.
Great art.
Absolutely.
I mean, you were looking for something unique. I'm trying to tell you, I'm giving you an opportunity right now. I want you to go to his website. Don't worry about what the price say.
Just buy something.
Don't worry about what the price say, because we set the price for our artists. We set the bar for them. If I can get one of you to just go and that $100,000 that you were about to blow, I need you to pay that for one of his paintings.
Absolutely.
No, I'm not kidding with you. I need you to pay that for one of his paintings. I need you to know that you're investing in a young brother who's already sacrificing. It's good ground to sow in. But it's you don't have the ability to make him famous. God does that. But guess what? I can use your money as a catalyst to do it. So I need somebody, whatever country you looking from, they'll convert it to whatever you need to American money. You got enough.
Absolutely.
You got enough. You sitting there wondering why you ran across this station. You ran across this station so you can go to Almond Brown website. I want you to pick a painting that you love and that you like. And guess what?
Two or three?
Well, no, I right now I only want you to put in one, because what you're doing is you're now investing. You're now becoming a patriot to someone, to a young black man who has not given up the fight, who still believes that this thing can be done, and who's fighting for it. See, y'all worried about us young black men. Well, not young anymore, not me. But young black men, with hair like mine and hair like his, you think we all thugs. No, we're not.
Not at all.
We got dreams and aspirations, and all you need to do is go over there and hit that button to change your life.
Exactly.
Today you were wondering what God had you stop on this channel for. He had you stop on this channel for you to change a life.
Exactly.
And guess what?
And change yours in the process.
When you make him famous, all throughout history, as they go through the Almond Brown collection, you will be the first name they call. You are the one who saw the value and paid for the value of it. I'm trying to tell you, it's possible.
All of the social media, be right at the bottom of the screen. You can go click on and go over and see everything that he has done. I'm so super excited about that. Tell us about your inspiration. What inspires you as an artist?
Yeah, the Black community. That really is the true inspiration. That nature, those are my things. And so I'm at the point now where I'll see things that are just familiar to me, or just beauty. So I found out, this kind of like phrase, I'm still trying to clean it up, but essentially, when we appreciate the beauty in something, we're extending our love towards it, right? So it can be as simple as a flower, after it's rained, so it's dripping a little bit of, little mist on it or whatnot, and just to stop, give it that appreciation. That's where, that love is transferred. And so things like that really is just my inspiration. So nature, like I just mentioned, those are, but also just watching our community just interact with each other. Like, for example, we met at the wedding, and just seeing some of the images throughout that scene over those days was just beautiful.
It was.
Like, for example, like I remember I was snapping pictures, and I got a great shot of my sister and my dad, during the dad-daughter dance.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like those moments that you want to just capture.
Exactly.
So those are like the images that I really look for, and also the ones that just really just bring familiarity. So like being at the cookout and seeing this person on the wooden benches, or so all those images that really just make you feel like, oh, that's home, that's family. Those are usually like the images that really catch my eye, and I choose to like art over. And I'm even in a space where some of our icons, our legends that we really hold dear, they could be musical or theater wise. I know I did a picture last summer of it was my version of a movie poster for Raisin in the Sun.
Oh, wonderful.
So with like the Sidney Poitier shot, so it was like I took different shots from the movie and merged them together for this one picture.
Beautiful.
And I did that because it was such a great, piece of work. It was such a great story.
Right.
And if anything, I'm hoping that, those who see the art and may not be as familiar with certain things, they can then be like, okay, this came from this, movie. Let me go check out the movie. And that now brings them even closer to our community. I have at least 4 to 5, if not working on more, pictures from Spike Lee movies, And outside of him being a Morehouse grad as well, he has a great eye, and he has a lot of great storylines as well that, if I could, point somebody towards his work or other people's works, that's another like just feeling I want, my pieces to kind of like give off to.
That is awesome.
Yeah, there is no greater time in history for a young Black person, well, actually of any culture.
Sure.
We're saying Black because we Black, but we are Black, and we're proud of our heritage.
Absolutely.
But let me tell you something. Don't sleep this time. It's unprecedented. We have already had a Black president of the United States of America. We have a Black woman who is vice president of the United States of America. We have our first Black woman justice. I'm trying to tell y'all how important history is right now for our Black community. Oh yeah, don't look, it's a lot of negativity going on.
Dream big.
In outside the Black community, there are still folks that are trying to hold us down, and there's still a whole bunch of mess going on. But I'm trying to tell you, the beauty is in what's really happening. In the communities, and people are finding their passion, and people are moving, and they're quietly breaking ceilings while people are breaking into the Capitol. Blacks are just sliding and still doing what's necessary to be done. And we got to realize this and take full advantage of it. So even with you, Zach, I need to tell you, catch this history in your art. Because there's no need of waiting 30 years. To catch what's most important when you got the clear snapshot in your head.
Snapshot right now.
Last summer, I actually did I have a piece called Summer 2020, and it's a snapshot of like some of the protests that went on last summer. And it was a really cool project because I actually did that with another artist, and we kind of like did our own arrangements or interpretation of it artistically. And then we kind of like put them together in like a collage type fashion. And so it was cool to do that, but also because he was another, Black male artist. I will do another shameless plug. It's not for myself, but just for those in the Atlanta area or just want to visit. They have both a Black girl art show and a Black boy art show.
Oh, wow.
And so I met him at the Black boy art show. And so it was a chance for us to just, network, but then also work together to, paint and showcase our talents. So that was a good experience to just be part of.
Excellent, absolutely. And it's not a shameless plug at all. That's what this show is all about. Shining the spotlight on people doing fantastic things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Anytime you want to shout somebody out, we are all for it.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, as we look back, and I like to stress the importance. Think about it. There's a young person being born today that was born in some hospital today. There's a young black boy and a young black girl who will not know what today looked like. They won't know what it looked like for Judge Jackson to be sworn in. They'll know that it happened. They have heard about it. That it happened. They will see footage that it happened. But I'm trying to tell you, the only image that they will see is the ones that we lead them when we apply the passion to what it's like to have a black justice sitting on the Supreme Court. See, we catch that in art that they can't catch in photographs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, we're saying we broke this ceiling. This one more that we had, this one more ceiling we done took down. We're moving a little further. You know, it's all out there. It's all happening. So our passions are not wasted.
Yeah.
Our passions are not wasted. What we have to do is support one another.
Absolutely.
What we have to do, young millionaire that has all that money sitting aside and don't know what to do with it. What you have to do is reach back to that website and grab one of them pictures for $100,000. Listen, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You gonna blow that on a suit. You was planning on going to London, several rows to get one made. Listen, you can also hit me up and take me with you if you want to go. You know, but. You can reach out, and it's a simple thing. We're not begging. We're saying, invest in your community.
Absolutely.
Invest in your community and young people doing good, so that we all can prosper. Because this world is big enough. Our imaginations are big enough for everybody to be able to express their opinions in their own ways,
out loud.
And everybody be appreciated in their own opinions of what they perceive things to be. Because I'm trying to tell you, in the next 20 years, it's going to be important.
It will be important. So listen, we're going to take another short commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Life can be hectic and sometimes overwhelming. But I know that my loved ones need me, the best version of me. That's why it's important for me to take time to sit with my thoughts and clear my mind. Because before I can care for anyone else, I have to care for myself. Self-care is essential.
Welcome back.
Hey, welcome back,
We've
y'all.
been having a fantastic conversation with Zachary Brown. I tell you, and the thing that impresses me most, maybe I shouldn't say most because I'm impressed by you, period. But the thing that's coming to the surface right now is how you leave your imprint in this world. And that's what this show is all about. It's the authentically you imprint. How do you leave your imprint? Because everybody will leave one.
Yeah.
Everybody's their thumbprint is unique to them. So everyone will leave a unique imprint in this world. And I love the fact that your creative side has stepped to the forefront, and you are leaving. I mean, there's no way that years and years and years, after you're gone, those photos, those paintings, your artwork will live. It will outlive you. That is an imprint. That is a signature that you're leaving in the world. How does that make you feel?
It's been amazing. That really hit me maybe about a couple of months ago. I'm not sure what it was that brought me to it, but the word legacy popped up. And, just grasping the fact that, as long as I continue doing what I'm doing, it doesn't matter if it doesn't get to, it doesn't matter. As long as I continue doing what I'm doing, this is something that can be passed down from generation to generation. Not even thinking about just the works, but the brand itself. And so, it feels, amazing. I remember I was watching a movie, and it was a movie of this violin that gets passed down like through different hands, and the spirit of this violin, or the spirit of the person that was, invoked by it, just continues to get, passed on. And this violin like touched so many people's like, generations. And so my girlfriend and I was watching it, and by the end of it, we said like, hey, what's that one object for you? What's that object? And it was like mentioning the pieces, the pictures. And so when I thought about that, that was just a great feeling of like 3 generations from now, somebody in my family will have like this picture I did for my dad, and we'll start to share stories, or they'll think about not only like myself who did the picture, but who the picture is, like who's that of. So I did a picture, my dad. So I think it was last summer as well. I did like the My Heritage DNA, just to kind of like get more of a sense of like, yeah. So I got the DNA results and I shared it with my parents, and then my dad looked at it. He's a quiet individual, so he didn't say too much about it. But maybe like shortly after that, I want to say 6 months to maybe a year afterwards, he started doing like a family tree scenario.
Right.
So he started doing his own research and doing, trying to figure out who was here and there. And so it's been really interesting to see how much information he's pulled up. And so he was able to get like pictures of my great grandfather.
Right.
These people that we never got a chance to meet, but they're still part of us. And we don't know these different parts of us. But to get that picture, it really was like, man, this is who I come from.
Exactly.
So I did I drew that over and was able to kind of like, capture it. And so that's gifted to him, but that's going to be one of our now family heirlooms that gets passed on.
Absolutely.
So it's a great feeling and thought to think that, something that we're putting out here, like you mentioned, the impact is going to be timeless. The imprint that's being left behind is going to be something that, people can talk about, not just about the imprint, but like what it meant, or like, and the hope is that it just inspires people to do more creating.
Right. And that's the thing I was going to say next, is that no matter who sees it, just your spirit is going to be transferred along with those pictures, and it will inspire someone else to live out loud in their passion, in their dreams, no matter what it is. Their passion may not be, in art. It could be in writing. It could be, any of those things. It could be in fashion design, something like that. But because they will have seen what you did. They'll say, okay, this was my relative. He did it, so can I. I applaud you. I'm very impressed.
The amazing thing, as we talk about legacy and all these things that are to come, and building ourselves, today we call it brands and
branding,
that type of stuff. But back in the day, they called it character.
How about that?
It's what you're known by. A character. And I just got to drop this right here, because what we do, especially in the Black community, is that our talent can get us places. It can take us a lot of places, but what we forget is that character that able to keep
keeps you in the room,
in those places. And the reason why I say that, even on today, because as we look at today, in just a few, just yesterday, one of our great R&B artists, is convicted once more. Of child molestation, all this type of stuff, because character can't keep. It's not enough just to be talented.
Correct.
It's you have to start looking at legacy,
because
you can spend a lifetime building. And I'm pretty sure this is one of the character traits that they taught at Morehouse, because I see it in the young men when other schools where it was okay to be casual, but Morehouse say certain days you have to come dressed for success. No matter what you think, no matter how you feel, no matter what color your hair is, you're going to need to make it neat and put on a suit and come in, because we're not only teaching you, we're teaching you the information. We're trying to build character in you, so that when you say Morehouse, people don't go running. When you say Morehouse, you got a brother that has character and strength. And it's important for young people to understand this as we go through this. you've got to learn character, because you can build and build and build great cathedrals. Just like my brother Bill Cosby, love him to death, but he failed.
Yeah.
His character, it doesn't take away from his greatness, but it does take away from his character. So no matter how great he was, the negativity is always attached. So that's going to devalue where you are. My thing is educate.
Yep.
Educate. Lead the statue up and tell the true story.
Yeah.
Put the plaques there and tell the true story. Don't glorify the wrong. Say, yeah, this is what he did. You can't take away from what was great.
Yeah.
But you can tell the true story. Give everybody an opportunity to know both sides. But I'm saying to young people, think about legacy as you make your decisions every day.
Yeah.
Think about what it's going to mean if I sell that painting tomorrow for $100,000, and my next painting go for $1 million. What will that change my character?
Right.
Will people trust me? Will I still be invested in the neighborhood? Will my passion? I might not teach, but will my passion still be to pour and mentor young people?
Right. As
I go on with what I'm doing, we got to ask ourselves as Blacks who's making history now. We are the history makers. Y'all are the history makers. Let me just say that. I'm still breathing. I still got more to do, but guess what? I'm older than I was. Okay,
and that's all right.
I'm just holding on, trying to attach my character to hold on to whatever good I have built. But you guys, you're history makers. But as you make history, you also got to realize you got to make character, because you can legislate a lot of stuff, but you can't legislate morality.
That's right. Integrity.
You can't legislate integrity and character. No matter what Congress passed, no matter what the Senate approves, none of character, none of morality can be legislated. It's something you have. It's a choice.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And then we as society live with your choice.
And the next generation will live with your choice. There's a lot has been said, and I keep getting these spurts of thought. I know this is a real good conversation, and when you think about the things that we do, sometimes we minimize our contribution, and sometimes we don't think that what we're doing is as spectacular or as special as the next person. First of all, I want to let you know that what you are doing is super fantastic, and I tell you, I'm thoroughly impressed. So as Andy was talking about the Morehouse standard, and how you met the requirements, and you graduated from Morehouse, and then you went into Ernst & Young, and then you got this aha moment, and you've been teaching, and then you got another aha moment, and you allow your creative side to come out. So the progression of your life that you've made thus far has landed you right now in a place where you are inspiring people on a whole different level. So how do you, and I know this, I didn't tell you about it, I was going to ask you this question, but how do you see that going forward as you continue to teach, in the schools, and continue your artwork at the same time? Will they meld together, or will they remain separate? Or do you see the two paths going, or do you see one joining?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that, because that was also part of the funding, or just even the thought process, because eventually that's what I want them to do, is to marry into one. Of course, like moving forward down the line, the thought is to be full-time entrepreneur. And so baby steps to get there. And one of the things I want to do, and we'll see if it happens this year or it'll be next year, but, I know they're going to have some kind of art class, or I would hope they have art classes at the school already. But even outside of those, potentially have like an art, club or whatever for myself, or for my, after school with my students.
Right.
So anybody's, free to come by my room and can art out,
Exactly.
So
share the creativity.
Right. And that will hopefully do dual purposes of, one, to help me stay consistent in doing the same craft, because sometimes I can come home and get pulled into like the day-to-day, like, you know, fix dinner, sit on the couch, watch TV. And so sometimes I'll need extra motivation. So if I have a group of students who are also trying to better themselves, they can help me, keep me accountable. So doing that, but then also in the same, at the same time, teach them about like the entrepreneurial like way in terms of how they can take their art and turn it into something that they can live off of, because I didn't get that until I started doing it myself, which, you know, it's never too late to learn anything, but had I known or learned it at an earlier age, I could have probably been in a better position by the time I got out of high school and or college. So like trying to start with that route of teaching students, one, developing their artistic skills, but then also teaching them how to leverage it, you know, and you know, capitalize. And I don't want to say capitalize, but, you know, use it for their own, you know, use it as their own tools, because they are tools and gifts that God gave us. So, you know, if we don't use them, you know, we're not doing him no service, right?
Exactly.
That's like where I see it going. But then even like a component of the brand to even branch out to part of ed consulting. Because like you mentioned before, being in the educational realm for these past 10 years, and especially like you mentioned during these last 2 to 3 years with COVID, it's been difficult. And even before then it was difficult, but now everything has been kind of like brought to light. And so while I'm not saying I've been a masterful person in the classroom, I have found some success with students, and to like start to help other adults and teachers and educators and parents and community members just to like learn how to be successful with students, or just helping them, you know, navigate education or navigate, you know, young people, you know, is a skill that, you know, gets lost sometimes. Because even the people that taught me about, you know, students when I was coming up, like that stuff is kind of changing, because like kids and generations change frequently. So we have to have skills and tool sets that also adjust with the times.
Sure.
I'm still finding myself, like I said, I have to learn from my students as much as they, you know, learn from me. So trying to let, you know, the whole spectrum, the community know like how to approach kids, I think is extremely important. So that might be a branch later on too that I add to the collection.
Absolutely. I have a tagline that says, let your passion become your purpose, which can then become your profession.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what I hear you saying.
Yeah. That, you know, and that's one for listen, we're going to take a quick break, and then as we wind this thing up, because Zach, we're going to have you back, but we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to drop a couple of things in your spirits. We'll be right back.
What is it that inspires passion? That thing that keeps us from thinking that we know it all, but instead makes us say, I have to know more. What is it that makes us keep trying after we've fallen time and time again? It's the thing that makes us smile after we finally figured it out. When what used to be difficult is now second nature. It's the joy of knowing our hard work was not in vain, but instead has made us better as people. It's the beauty of learning.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back.
You know, my wife said something that I made a little note here. As soon as it opens up, there you go. She said about your aha moments in life. What people don't realize is that aha moments doesn't make for joy. Because what happened is you have an aha moment, and then you wonder how you're going to get there. You push yourself, and and that aha moment is euphoric, because it takes you up to the clouds.
Right.
And then you wonder how you're going to get there, and then you understand that aha moment wasn't enough. and then bam, here comes another aha moment in your life. And it's euphoric, and it takes you to another place, and then you wonder how you're going to get there. One thing takes me back, as you were saying, that reminded me of what my mother told me as she was headed towards a deathbed and she was sick. She said to me, she said, son, because everybody, you know, they say, you know, I'm just crazy. I love to have fun. I love to laugh. So my mother said to me, don't lose that. Listen. She said, life is going to hand you enough stuff to be sad about, son. Every opportunity you get to laugh. And that's what's going to bring you joy. And it worked for me for life. I don't stress out because I'm going to find something humorous in it.
All the time.
Listen, young people, you got to have more than one aha moment. Aha is only the beginning of the laugh. Your second aha will take you into another beginning of the laugh. Each aha moment that you have takes you into a euphoria where you be wondering how you're going to get there. Actually, every aha moment that you have is God trying to get you to laugh at yourself. Because he's giving you inspiration and say, you know, wow, I made you. You can do that.
He's like, wow.
And you be like, and then you let all the pressures in life discourage you. You let every little bump in the road tear you down. And then another aha moment coming, you up. And as far as you go up, you come down. Listen, don't come down till you get the next aha moment. So by the time you reach where you want to reach in life, you're in a full belly laugh about life. There's joy about what you're doing. There's joy about what you have achieved. And that type of joy will ignite passion not only in you, but those who are around you. Do you not know that laugh is infectious? My aha moments, Chris and I had an aha moment, and the only way it caught on fire is that we talked about it. And till the next aha moment come, and now we're on television. Who would have ever thought we have Facebook Live because we kept on until we laughed, not just stopping at one aha moment. We get to the point where we laugh, and anything you can laugh about, you can achieve.
And enjoy those moments.
So what we're going to do, Zach, listen, we're going to come back, and we're going to have another show. Because when you come back, I need to see your art display behind you. We need to change the setting up a little bit and do that. So we're going to do another interview, and we're going to do it soon so we can knock it back to back. So find yourself a setting where you can put your artwork and stuff up, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do it again because somebody's going to be listening to this looking for that $100,000 painting that you're doing. That $1,000 piece of art, they can't find it if you don't show it. So
I wanted to, but we're currently trying to get the art creative space kind of like together, but I got you next time, definitely. Thank you.
It's gonna be soon, so you have to figure out how you're gonna display. And
no problem.
So we can run this back to back, and your artwork can be shown.
Yes, sir.
So listen, with all this being said, if you're in Atlanta, guess what? You're right there where he is. You can reach out. Maybe you coming close to where he are. Maybe you have the same passion, and you are the person that he needs to talk to, and he's the person you need to talk to push your passion. I'm gonna tell you, Zach, I need you to go through YouTube. There's a lieutenant colonel that we interviewed last year. And he's leaving corporate world
to
teach and educate. I said lieutenant colonel, a black lieutenant colonel, retired lieutenant colonel, who entered the corporate world and
is making lucrative.
Go ahead and talk to him. He's leaving tons and tons of money on the table to go back to his passion. To teach, and his passion is the same for young people. So Troy, you need to go back and go through the YouTube. You'll see that interview. I promise you, it's gonna excite you.
Definitely.
So we want to give you the last word.
Absolutely. The only thing I wanted to say to put out there on the air is to have enough. We have to, in the creative space, we have to have enough inspiration, enough passion, enough awareness of our purpose to keep our own momentum.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's certain things that you want people to come along beside you to help you do. And there's certain things that you want, you know, sometimes you may feel like you're walking this path alone. Mm-hmm. But when you are intentional about what you're doing, when you understand your purpose, when you know that this is a passion of yours, and you know you have been built for this, that will keep the momentum going for you. So I applaud you, because it really does sound like you know that painting, being an artist is, you know, your purpose for being here. God has given you the passion for it, and he's opening up ways for it to become your profession and for you to inspire others with your artwork. So I really do applaud you. I can't wait I'm going to go look at some of it soon, like tonight or first thing in the morning. Look at some of it, because I am very, very happy to hear about the path that you're on. Stay on your journey. It's your journey. Stay on your journey. And so as we bring tonight's
One more thing I got to say. Listen, shameless plug. Listen, since we are in Atlanta right now, and this is going to air in Atlanta because Zach going to send it out to his friends, and we're going to call out people in Atlanta. Listen, Stacey, I need you to hit me up, because I know we're a small show, but girl, I need to interview you.
Stacey.
Yeah.
Amen.
And then Senator Warnock. I know we're small, but somehow I'm believing this going to get to you. Listen, just give me a few minutes and talk to a brother that's trying to pull up and make it. Listen, call me. Let us interview you. Listen, we're going to boost your ratings for this election coming up in November.
We'll do it.
I know we're small, but I'm trying to tell you, if you call me,
we will do it.
We will be doing it. I got your back.
All right, we're going to turn the floor over to you for parting words.
Abrams.
Abrams.
Don't forget. Yeah, Abrams. Give me a call, ma'am.
Okay.
But I'm gonna just piggyback on what Mr. Andy was saying about the aha moments, because like you mentioned, I did have several of those, throughout the journey, and gonna have several more too. But following up to what you were saying, emphasizing is just, the concept of like failing forward. Nothing's ever a failure. Nothing's ever a loss. But just learn from it all. And if I any parting words is just take the step forward. You don't know you can be scared about the step. You can be uncertain. You can be about all these things. But at the end of the day, go ahead and just take the step with whatever it is, and you'll be so appreciative for yourself for taking that step.
Absolutely.
I did that with, the business. I did that with cooking, just with anything, take the step. If it messes up, go back to the drawing board, do it again, but yeah, take the step and everything will work out. So if anything else, I'll just tell that to everyone, take the step.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And don't be afraid to redefine yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
Listen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for allowing us into your world.
Yes,
thank y'all for having me. Thank you for having me.
It's been a privilege to spotlight you tonight because, as I said, we're very impressed with you and the passion with which you do what you do. So thank you so much, and we welcome you to the Imprint family.
Yeah. Listen, whatever y'all do out there, whatever you do in this life, you got to find your reason.
Yes, for being.
Being you. However it goes. Mm-hmm. Make this your season.
To live out your reason.
Listen, whatever you do, you got to be authentically you. Listen.
Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us today. And we will see you on our next broadcast. Thank you so much,
How will you leave your imprint?
I know, right? He's prompting me with that thumb. How will you leave your imprint in this world? That's the question. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Be authentically you, 'cause now is your your season to live out your reason. Just be you. How you gonna leave your imprint on this world? Be authentically you. 'Cause now is your season to live out your reason. Just be you. How you gonna leave your imprint on this world?